Good day everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to episode number 4 of the Athens triple threat, three-way battle, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, let's go straight into it because I am back off my holidays, coincidentally in Athens, as you'll see from a social post that I put up on my page, where I've managed to actually go and visit a couple of the stadiums, go and have a look. There's only a couple of little pictures here and there. Didn't manage to get an awful lot of shots in it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to a game, but so be it. But as I say, let's go and have a delve into this, and we are starting off with Olympiacos. As you can see, we are already on the 31st of August into the 4th season, and we're sitting top already. I'm more than confident that we are going to win the league again this year, quite easily to be fair, especially when you consider our bank balance is looking very, very pretty now. We've barely got any debt, we've got a decent transfer budget left over. The players that I brought in are getting less but higher quality, is the way I would put it, to say the least. So nothing in before the save point. There was only one sale before that point, and that was dipped off. Santiago Heze has finally left, and he's gone to Switzerland, Lucerne, for $500,000. And then if we cross back over, I made another 26 million in sales, which for a Greek club is a substantial amount of money. And sadly, Mitrovic is the one that has left us after, what was that, one season? Yeah, a one-season wonder. On a free transfer, he scored 21 goals in the league, 27 in total, and then I sell him for nearly 16 million quid. I'd say that's some pretty damn good business. Andre Anderson is another one. He's gone out to Saudi as well. He's gone to Denmark. Then Donker has left as well. He's gone for 4.5 million to Al Weda. Couple of other small ones, and then the players that I've brought in. As I say, I'm bringing in less players now because I think the squad is strong enough, but it's all about improving those players to try and challenge for, in Olympiacos' position, start challenging for European trophies. Whether we get a Champions League trophy out of this, I don't know, but we will see. Anyway, so 2 free transfers. Marquinhos I brought in from Arsenal, and Tommaso Pobega from AC Milan. Then I needed another Greek player for registration purposes. I always try to find the Greek players. Vasilis Vintiadis. Nailed it. You'd think I'd be able to pick up on these names since I've just been over in the country, but nope. Regen, 18-year-old striker. Will we get to see him? Probably not, but again, it will help with the homegrown quota side of things. Very good stamina, very good technique. I think this guy could, if I played it on for a few more seasons, he could end up being like one of the best strikers Greece has ever produced. And then after that, I did bring in a full-time replacement for Mitrovic, and that was Marcus Leonardo for 9.5 million. Brazilian striker from Saudi. He was at Al Hilal. Developed quite nicely actually on the game so far. He's 24, so he's coming into his prime. Very consistent, enjoys the big matches, great finishing, composure and acceleration, exactly what you want off a striker. And then another centre-back. Spent big on this one, 15.5 million, Samson Beidou. A name that is well renowned to the FM community as a bit of a centre-back wonderkid. I've never personally bought him before, but with really good positioning, jumping reach, he's quite tall, about 6'2" I think that is. With great pace, good strength. The only thing that lets him down is his technique, but he's a centre-back, so hoof the ball out and chase the players back. That's all you need to do. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that transfer business. Tactically wise, again, I'll show you, I've actually put a few players in. My left side I've nailed in as Mora and Alex Valle with Leonardo up front. That is how I want us to play with that 3 on that side. I think that it's going to be utterly lethal. I think the rest of the players just fill it in for themselves. Let's say schedule-wise, we've started off pretty well. Kifisia 4-0, Aris 5-0, and 0-0 against Lamia, which is weird. But then beating our city rivals, Panathinaikos 4-1, tops it off quite nicely. And speaking of Panathinaikos, let's go and zip on over to them to see how we got on with them in the transfer window. Be back in a couple of seconds. And here we are over on the green third of Athens at Panathinaikos for season number 4. And again, we've had a very successful time, but if we have a look, we are on the 1st of September for this one. Olympiacos, we have just lost to in the league, which is a little bit annoying and a little bit concerning because I don't like to lose to the rivals, seeing as how competitive it is between the 3 or 4 clubs in the city. And again, if we have a look at the schedule, we've had a very, very good schedule. We've cleared all our friendlies. We've managed to get through the Champions League qualification, including knocking out Celtic, which is big. But then, obviously, we've gone into the league stage, where actually, if we have a look at the fixtures quickly, for our Champions League return, we've got Prague, Salzburg, Man City, ouch, Leverkusen, Ludogorets, Galatasaray, Liverpool and Monaco. You know what? Actually, that's not too bad. I would expect us to qualify at least to the knockouts on that, without a doubt. Financially wise as well, we are sitting very, very pretty. We have about 11 million left in the transfer budget, 30 million overall in the balance, with no debt or loan coming in whatsoever. And then transfer wise, well, we have been busy. I've done no transfers before the save point, in or out. This is purely it. So we made another 18 million from player sales, which the biggest one was Alexandropoulos. He went to Albertine for 13.5 million. Solbakken didn't last very long with us either, which is a little bit annoying. We bought him for 2.9 million. And then Alcalaj came in and snapped him up. And I couldn't, again, it's that Saudi pull, it's the money pull. Really annoying. And Bartomeu Dragowski has gone to Pisa, and then just a couple of smaller ones like Ogianis and Ingerson. A couple of the older players, they're out the squad as well. But as you can see, I have been shopping quite a lot in this transfer window, and I've bulked out the squad, including a few free transfers. So the first one, Luke Chambers, left back, free transfer from Liverpool. Great backup left back. I think he'll do all right with us. Then Jason Knight is a player who plays for Bristol City, I believe in real life, still. He's a central midfielder, an attacking central midfielder, but can play as a ball winner as well. And he's already got me 7 goals. So, it's with a finishing at 9. I did not expect that in the slightest, but he has got me 7 goals. With a finishing at 9, he has good work rate and teamwork, great stamina, so he's a great box-to-box ball winning midfielder. So, perhaps, I don't know, runs through this and gets forward whenever possible. That's probably why he gets so many goals, because he likes to get forward whenever possible. He's kind of like an Irish Suchak, so to speak. And then we have Wilf Ndidi from Leicester, after not extending his contract there. He's 30 years old, but again, great experience for the club. Exactly what I wanted, a bit more experience. Then, in comes the money that we spent. Marcel Lorber from Domžale, 23-year-old Slovenian, another defensive midfielder. Again, just another squad option to fill it out. Giuliano Simeone from Atletico Madrid is the other striker son of the Simeone brand, so to speak. Perhaps not as good as Giovanni, but still a decent enough striker. He's made a couple of subs appearances, again, just as a backup more than anything else. Bit of flair to add to the team as well. Yusuf Demir, former wonder kid on the game, is now 24. Playing his trade out in Turkey at the moment, but still very, very good on the game and gives me a lot of options. Hasn't played too much, but has got a goal already after 3 sub appearances, which isn't too bad. Andrea Papetti is a centre-back on here. I believe his class is a wonder kid initially when the game starts up. 25 now, hasn't developed that way, but is still very solid all around. And again, another good backup option. Again, this is what I was looking at now, filling out those squad options, trying to just bring in a bit of quality to replace a couple of players, and that is it really. Sophocles Velnis, 18-year-old regen from PAOK. Played a lot in the PAOK B team and has developed quite nicely. He's got nearly a 4-star potential ability, but again, because of the homegrown quota, I needed more Greek players in that I could use to make sure I could register my team, which is why I've picked him. And then finally, I would say probably the biggest signing, well, the most expensive signing, but the best signing that we've had, Aruna Sangante. Now, I have bought him previously on one of my saves, and he has been excellent for me in that save. And I thought, why not take another punt? He was cheap enough to get within my price range, and I think he is an absolutely solid centre-back for this league, and he could help propel us a little bit further on in Europe as well. 25-year-old, Senegalese, very aggressive, very good at the marking, and very good at the positioning, plus has the physical attributes to back it up. What more could you want? What more could you want? Tactically wise as well, I've only pinned in 2 players, and I've completely forgot about 1 player here. Tyler Morton from Liverpool, who coincidentally in real life has just moved to Lyon to carry on his career, and best of luck to him, being obviously a Liverpool fan, wish him good luck there. But has developed actually quite well on this game, and he's played 8 games, 1 as a sub, 1 goal, 2 assists already to start us off with, so he's obviously getting the game time, and his first touch and passing and vision has already improved, so I'm expecting a lot from him. And at 11 million quid, he's a bit of a punt, but I think it's going to be worth the risk. And as I say, On the tactic side, I'm keeping Zeze in left centre-back and Morton as my DLP. I want them to get as much game time as I possibly can give them. So, the positive start to the season, I'm quite happy with that. But have we had such a positive start with AEK? Remember, we need to pick them up and see where we can take them this season, because we've had a rough time of it with them. Let's go and have a look and see what we did. Well, after the disappointment of missing out on the title last season against our city rivals, I wanted us to bounce back. So this is what we have had to do. Now, I'll come onto the schedule in a second because it's not looking too pretty up in that corner. But financially wise, we are still rough. Very rough. I've only got about 1 million in transfer budget. I'm slightly over on the wage budget. Not much in the overall balance. Debts and loans, I got about 20 million debt because, you know, I think... What is that to do with board? Right, what are we... Board request? Nothing. Nothing's going on. Why are we in debt? Come on, get somebody in. We had somebody sniffing around and then it just didn't happen. So, it's a little bit annoying. But transfers-wise, I've had to be frugal. Again, there's no doubt about it. I've not sold any before the takeover. I only brought one in the January, which was that John Velez, and I alluded to that on the last episode. So as you can see, a lot of free transfers after a couple of frees went out, and I sold Zini, is that however you pronounce that, 150k to Vehevar, I believe that's in Hungary. But yeah, as I say, no money spent, just a lot on free transfers, and that is it. So here we go. Here's the roll call of free transfers. Vaclav Cherny is a player from Wolfsburg, Czech Republic. Good winger, good squad option. Hopefully gives us something. Ferenc Huetlas from Real Madrid B is a goalkeeper, coming in as a backup because he's only 22, but I think he might be able to do a job for us maybe next season. Who knows? Musa Ndiaye from Anderlecht, 25-year-old left back, actually really good left back. I think he'll do really well in this league. Great attributes all the way through, anywhere between 11 and 14, 15s. Really, really good standard for this league. Then Milan van Eerwyk from Coventry. Opposite side, right back. Again, very solid, very quick as well. So bombing up and down that wing, exactly what I like to see. Kind of Frimpong-esque, I suppose you could say. But I think technically a little bit better than Frimpong. Then I brought in another striker, Rodrigo Muniz from Fulham, who, to be fair, at Fulham, he didn't play that much besides these two seasons. Obviously, they got relegated there, I think. Didn't get too many goals, but he's coming in as a backup striker. I don't think he's going to be my starter. He's unhappy already because he's been left out of the Europa League squad. I'm having registration issues. Uh-oh. Gaius Makuta is another one from the Congo. 30 years old. Brought him in from Turkey, Allianspor. Really good ball winning midfielder. Great strength. Good aggression. Ball winners, that's what I like. Get a tank in the midfield and you'll be alright. Kostas Zlokis. Well, he's coming as another goalkeeper. I needed another Greek man. Again, for the registration purposes more than anything else. And actually, to be fair, I think he's a pretty decent keeper, so it's not too bad. Then Dimitrios Limnios, another right winger. Again, 2.5 star. More to do with the homegrown quota again. He's been over in Australia for the last year, but he was a former Panathinaikos player. So, make of that what you will. He's gone to the city rivals. And then Georgios Vaginiadis. Oh, God, I'm butchering these names. I do apologise. Really agile, good acceleration, good pace. Technicals are fairly decent. Again, backup right back, I think, to behind Van Eerwyk. And reasonably decent mentals. 3-star ability. He doesn't like the big games, but he's reasonably consistent, so he may be able to help us out. Tactically wise, though, kept it the same, but I've not pinned anybody in on this one, thankfully, because when we have a look at the schedule, we've not done too bad, actually. Friendlies wise, we were okay. We got through the Europa League phase, and then we got beaten by Besiktas, so we've ended up in the Conference League, which isn't good from a money perspective. We drew against Olympiacos, but we've beaten Aris and Panathinaikos. So we sit third in the Greek League, which isn't too bad. But there we have it, guys. That is the transfer roundup and everything that's been happening in the clubs this summer. We are at season number 4. Will it be a continuation of Olympiacos' dominance? I have a feeling it may be, because at the end of the day, they have the financial clout. Will Panathinaikos bounce back with more titles? And can AEK win another league title? let's go and roll the highlights and find out, shall we? I'll see you guys in a few seconds. For Olympiakos, it was business as usual. In the league, we were utterly rampant, beating Panathinaikos 5-0 and PAOK 6-2, with only losing one game all season, ironically, to PAOK as well. We claimed another league title. We almost did the domestic double too. After breezing through the early rounds, we lost in the final to our Green City rivals on penalties, thanks to a failed Panenka penalty. Gutted. And in Europe, despite beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 and Dinamo Zagreb 4-0, we just about scraped through to the knockout stages, only to be dispatched very quickly by Bayern Munich, ending our European journey. There was better fortune, however, for the Greens of Athens. In Europe, despite a 6-2 battering by Liverpool, we secured enough points for the knockouts, including a 2-0 win versus Man City. We faced Atalanta next, who we beat on penalties, only to go on and face Dortmund in the round of 16. We fluffed up the first leg, losing 3-0 at home, but equalled it up in the second leg to win the match again on penalties to go through to the quarterfinals and face AC Milan. After the first leg, we won 2-1 and I thought, we could just get through. But no, we couldn't. We chucked it away in the second leg and ended our Champions League journey in the quarterfinals. Domestically, it was another double. A 4-1 win versus Olympiakos and a 4-3 versus PAOK helped secure another league title for Panathinaikos, and after cruising through the early rounds, it was a win against our rivals 3-1 to win another Greek Cup. Sadly and frustratingly, AEK were poor this season. Despite being unbeaten going into the new year and continuing to get results like a 3-0 versus Volosh and a 3-1 versus PAOK, we slipped up at the vital time and lost points to end the season third. In the cup, it wasn't much better either. Breezing past Giannini and Panathinaikos, it was our Green City rivals again who knocked us out in the semi-finals. But there was a glimmer of hope in the Conference League. In the league phase, it was 5 wins from 6 as we finished top of the table. Then a trip to Denmark and it was a 6-4 aggregate win against Midtjylland. Then we faced our Greek rivals again, PAOK, in the quarterfinals, who we narrowly beat 2-1 on aggregate. Then it was back off to Denmark and facing AGF next in the semi-finals, and we beat them 5-3 on aggregate to reach the Conference League final versus Crystal Palace. But sadly, we ran out of steam and couldn't finish the job as we lost the final 1-0 on the night. Well, I think it goes without saying, for Olympiakos, that's actually quite a disappointing season. Okay, we've absolutely trounced the league. As you can see here, we have absolutely obliterated it by 21 points over Panathinaikos. We were virtually in complete control from the midpoint of the season, halfway through. But if we have a look at the league table, yeah, there we go. We only lost one game. Almost unbeaten, which I don't think we've done yet. 3, 4, 5. So that's our best season results wise. 3 draws. Obviously, because this is the championship group phase, I can't see it all. 132. I mean, almost a near perfect season. Only conceded 18 goals as well, which isn't too bad at all. But on the other competitions, disappointingly, we lost the Greek Cup final to our city rivals, Panathinaikos, on penalties. I'm gutted at that. More so for the fact that I've only won one Greek Cup and been runners-up for the other. So, yeah, it seems to be our city rivals that are picking up the actual cups more than anything else. That's annoying, to say the least. And then, obviously, Europe. Well, I was hopeful that in the league phase, we would actually get maybe a little bit higher. I mean, we won 4 games, beating Feyenoord, Dynamo, Atletico Madrid and Karabag, but we lost to Milan, Roma, Marseille, not Milan, sorry, Bayern, Monaco, Marseille and Roma. Losing at home to Marseille, that is a disappointing one. And even with those 3 points, we wouldn't have finished in the top 8, but we may have had a more favourable draw when it came to what teams we played, because if I go back, we got knocked out by Bayern Munich. That's a tough draw. That is a tough draw. Unfortunately, we didn't get far enough. But financially wise, it does help a little bit. We've got 27.5 million for season number 5, the 5th and final season. 44.5 million in the bank. Quick look at the squad, which Yazici Woof. 35 goals and 12 assists. Leonardo, 33 and 2, 19 and 7 from Mora, 11 and 17 from Kwame, 8 and 8 from Marquinhos. Perfect. Cannot complain that. Even 14 assists from Valle, which obviously I've cleared it now, but obviously I did have those players locked in. Very, very happy with those three. Very happy indeed. But how did we get on in the green third of the city? Let's go and find out. Well, that was a close one. That was a close one. But it is another league title for Panathinaikos, with Ioannidis absolutely stomping over the league, which isn't too bad actually, because when we have a look at the past minutes, that's 3 and 4 now for Panathinaikos. That's really, really good. We're toppling Olympiakos' dominance here. Big time. Big time. That is excellent result. Thank you very much. Tyler Morton with 23 assists. We'll come on to the squad stuff in a second. But competitions-wise, managed to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, but we did win the Greek Cup, so it is a domestic double this season, and we beat Olympiakos at that as well. Come on. Very happy with that, and the fact that we've won 3 Greek Cups. In fact, actually, we've done 3 domestic doubles. So in that, would you class that as more of a success than Olympiakos? At the moment, I would, because we've won more league titles and Greek Cups than anything else. It's going to be interesting to top this up on the end of season number 5 to see who comes out the overall winner, because I think it's going to be close. But even still, yeah, winning the Greek Cup, winning the league, absolutely perfect. Champions League, really, really good run. I'm very happy with that. Okay, we finished 19th, which isn't the best. But then we got to the knockout rounds and we won on penalties against Atalanta, which Atalanta are not an easy side to play. And then through to the round of 16 first, where we won on penalties again. So penalties is our thing, and we knocked out Borussia Dortmund. So that was a tough tie again. And then to the quarterfinals, and our luck ran out after we beat Milan, and then they absolutely trounced us, and they progressed to the semi-finals, and we didn't. A little bit disappointing, but financially wise, we're actually projected to fail FFP. I'm not quite sure how that's happened with that Champions League run. I don't know whether we've had all the money come in. Yeah, but I've got 30 million in transfer budget, 30 million in the overall balance. I've got no debts. How on earth are we failing FFP? I have no idea on that one. Everything's under it'll probably sort itself out by the start of season 5, I would expect. So, I mean, our profit and loss for this month. This season, we're expected to be a loss of... Hang on, let's have a look at the summary. Currently, the board projected a club loss of 17.24 million. I may have been a little bit too excitable when it comes to spreading the costs of some of these transfers. And that may actually come back to bite me in the backside. Watch this space for season number 5 to see if we actually do make it through. Fingers crossed we will. I think we will, but we will see. We will see. And then coming to the squad, well, Ioannidis absolutely stomping over everybody. 36 goals, 8 assists. 19 and 5 from Demir. Only 27 starts though. That's good. 16 and 22 from Amad Diallo. What a star he is turning out to be. Oh, he is really, really good on this, to be fair. 14 and 13 from Palestri again. 14 and 7 from Jason Knight. Great season. Tete, 14 and 17, and 23 assists and 9 goals from a 62 game start season for Tyler Morton. That's how good Tyler Morton can be in some of these other leagues if he's given the chance. And then 10 assists from Zagaritis as well. Everybody's contributing. Everybody's being successful. Brilliant. Cannot fault it in the slightest. But we do have AEK to deal with. I'm keeping my fingers crossed we got another league title in the bag. Let's go and find out and see how we get on with them. Well, that's I've got nothing. That little run towards the end of the season, and you'll see also the fact that we played Palace as well. Yeah, I mean, the highlights said it all. It's just disappointing. Disappointment after disappointment for this season. So, at the start of the season, obviously, I already said that we didn't get through the Europa League qualification. We got knocked down to the Conference League, and we got all the way to the final. In the league phase, we qualified top. Absolutely trounced the league phase. Straight through to the round of 16, where obviously we beat Midtjylland 6-4. We got through the quarterfinals, beating PAOK, our Greek rivals. Into the semis, where we played AGF from Denmark, beat them 5-3. Then through to the final, and we lose 1-0 to Crystal Palace. That's gutting, because that would have been Europa League football for us next season. Fortunately enough, we got Europa League football anyway. But then the Greek Cup, we got beat by Panathinaikos, which is even more disappointing. And then we missed out on the league by 12 points. We dropped off. We just dropped off, and it's not good enough. It really isn't. And financially, wow. I got $1 million in the transfer budget. We're 14 million in the red. We are suffering big time. The only positives I've got really are some of the players that we've got. The average ratings they are producing. Buwadu, 33 goals and 6 assists. Brilliant. 15 and 13 from Jevon Simons, who is unhappy, wants a new deal. That's fine. I'll happily keep him. 14 and 11 from Levi Garcia. Yunus Akgun, our Turkish winger / amazing player. Basically our Yazici. 13 and 12. 13 and 11 from Cherny. Good debut season. 11 assists from Zizmanski as well. But it seems to be our defence, tactically wise. I'm going to have to change a couple of the player roles, I think. I think we're just being a little bit too defensive. It's annoying. I just can't quite figure this out. And how we're going to sort out the financial side of things, I do not know at the moment. But there we have it, guys. That is it. That's Season 4. Done and dusted. So, a quick recap will be Olympiakos with another league title in the bag, but unfortunately losing the Greek Cup final. Panathinaikos again doing the domestic double, the League and the Greek Cup, absolutely superb. And AEK being the bridesmaids, in fact not even being the bridesmaids of this season, just having an awful season and losing a European final. How am I going to fix AEK for the 5th and final season? Well, you're going to have to like and subscribe to this channel and like this video, as I say, and tune in for the 5th and final part, which is due out the week after this, to see how it all ends and who ends up on top. I have a sneaking suspicion it's not going to be AEK. Make sure you tune in for the next video to see what happens. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra.